Can we talk about this show?
My first ex-husband?
Yeah.
Or,
well, I'm
Nobody
switching.
Wants Us? Which one? Which
no,
one? No,
my first ex-husband.
Well, I'm thrilled to do it. I got a call from Angela LaGreca, I think a summer or two ago, saying we want to do this reading in an inn in Southampton, like a living room. Would you do 2 of the monologues? And I said, well, I'm flying in from another place. I think I was working, maybe even in California. Mm-hmm. And I said, but if you take me from JFK to Southampton, I'll do it. And I got there just in time to make an entrance and, walk down a small aisle and do these 2 monologues, which now have evolved into this off-Broadway hit. I mean, we forget how gifted Joy Behar is and how long her reach is. Yeah. She has been on The View for a quarter of a century.
Ooh, right.
Yeah, and people know her and love her, and I'm certainly one of those. And she gave me 2 great monologues.
She's so funny. Is she as funny as she is behind the scenes?
She's she's just very smart behind the scenes. Probably similar to Joan Rivers, who was smart as the Dickens, and hilarious when she was doing her routine. But she's wonderful to work with. If you have an idea, like one of my characters was named Rebecca, and I said, I think I'd like to be called Rachel, and she said, fine. So now the character is named Rachel, which is Rachel in English, and it suits the monologue better. So she's very easy to work with, and then, of course, I'm with the great Susie Essman, who said to me, what is it, the famous quote, what's more dishy than gossiping about marriage and divorce,
right.
Which, and Adrienne Seymour, who was on Orange is the New Black. And these are great human beings. They're wonderful actors. Susie and Joy are wonderful actors, and Adrienne and I are actors. So it's actually a different approach to the material.
What draws you to these roles? I like this dry humor, sort of sinister character that you play.
Well, the whole piece is about women, our place as women, and the men we choose, and how they make us feel. So one of my characters does not leave her husband. Her husband dies. The other character has to escape from her life. And what draws me to it is that I'm not part of it. I'm about to celebrate the 49th anniversary of my first kiss from Andrew Harris Levy, who is my husband.
Oh my gosh,
he came backstage to Yentl February 16th, 1976, asked me out for coffee. I said, I will not go out for coffee with you. And he said, why? Because I knew his family from Washington. I said, you're Clarice Levy's son, and you should never date an actor, go back to Harvard and marry a Radcliffe teacher. And he said, Mary, I'm just asking you out for coffee. And 4 months later, we were engaged. And then on March 20th, 1977, we were married.
And here you are. So this is 49 coming up, or this is 50?
49, no, 49 coming up is the first kiss. 50 years on Broadway, which has been a great, and our 50th anniversary will be in 2027. However, I think I'm going to throw a first kiss party.
You should.
Which will be a year from this Sunday.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love
let's
that.
do that. I don't want to wait.
Did you guys celebrate Valentine's Day then, since we're around tomorrow's Valentine's Day?
No, I had not met him. Wow. I had not met him. I had not gone out with him. He came 2 days after Valentine's on Washington's birthday weekend. It was actually a Monday in 1976. And our daughter, Amanda Claire, is about to give birth to her 3rd child, and she's scheduled to give birth on that Monday, on which her father kissed her mother the first time.
Oh my God!
So we'll see how it goes.
Wow.
Anyway, back to divorce and my first ex-husband.
Right. So then, how do you've been married and you've been in this relationship, and you're talking about divorce? That's got to be a little.
You have to think about the people who have ghosted you. Think about the people who who close down the space with you in life. They did a survey of the most unpopular children in kindergarten, and it's the ones who get too close to the others, who close down the space. So one of my characters, the space is so tight for her, she needs to escape her life. The other character loses her mate, and even though he wasn't as kind to her as she had hoped, she's extremely attached to him. So what are the triggers, My father was a Harvard lawyer. My husband is a Harvard lawyer. Freud wouldn't have to do no work on this marriage to Andrew Harris Levy. But other people don't have the advantage of cellular coincidence. And that would be my biggest piece of advice for anybody getting married, is look, if you love a boy and a boy loves you, or if you love a girl and a girl loves you, if you love a boy and a boy, whatever, if you're madly in love, run, don't walk to his or her parents' home. If it doesn't feel like a warm bath, it's a red flag. And that is my advice about about marriage being easy, right?
Right.
So,
wow, that's good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Andrew's mother was a classical pianist. My mother was a classical pianist. I was a classical pianist. So we were brought up with what? The same music, WQXR. So when I come into our home, where Andy and I have brought up children and spent a life together, and you know, at this point in our lives, we buried our 4 parents together. You know, we have a life cycle. And Chopin is playing. It's not just that Chopin is playing. It's that Andy is with his mother, and I'm with my mother, and I'm with myself as a young pianist at National Music Camp. Back to the play.
Oh, my.
It's really not, through laughter, there's a lot of, well, it's based on true stories.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pithy truth, and a lot of good red flags that we show the audience that maybe they should learn from. And one of my friends saw it and said, oh my God, this is so anti-women. And I said, it isn't. It's the men we choose and how they make us feel.
Period.
So choose carefully, because we are still in a time where we have to break through glass ceilings.
Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
This has been such a pleasure. I'm not going to
Always.
speak on your behalf.
Pleasure is mine. And go see Nobody Wants This, because I'm going back.
Nobody wants to say, I just wanted to ask you
Yeah.
quickly, so will your son's girlfriend ever have the upper hand? She's got something on you.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not, as much as I love Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. He's a perfect television son. Calls me his godmother. He won't let me walk down the stairs alone.
Oh my
so he
gosh.
escorts me down. Now, I can walk downstairs
even
alone.
better.
I'm an athlete. I would rather slide down the banister, but he just likes to protect me.
Hilarious.
And
I
I have a wonderful time in Hollywood with those people.
If you haven't seen the show, please watch it. It is the best.
Go.
You can
Yes.
binge it with your spouse.
And come see Joy and me and Susie Essman and Adrian Moore in My First Ex-Husband.
Oh my gosh.